Welcome everyone to MATCH B2B INSIGHTS. I'm Brenda, and today we're digging into a topic that's transforming the B2B landscape for Israeli companies, the massive shift in buyer power. Joining me today are Benny Fluman, CEO of MATCH B2B, and Brian Newman, who leads business development and manages the SDR function at MATCH B2B, working closely with Israeli companies operating in global B2B markets. I keep seeing numbers from the latest 6 Sense report that are just jaw-dropping. Did you know that B2B buyers now reach out to vendors only after they're already 61% through their buying journey? And when they finally do, that shortlist almost never changes. Basically, if you're not on the day one list, you're not winning the deal. Benny, you've got a story here, right?
Do I ever? Early in my, let's call it, overly confident days, I had this demo, right? I nailed every feature. Slickest speech in Tel Aviv. But what I didn't realize was the CIO loved it, but the broader team, they wanted consensus. And nobody told me that 5 people on the committee were total skeptics. The deal slipped away, even though my product shined. That was my introduction to group buying dynamics. Since then, I've learned. You sell to the room, not the loudest voice. You get everyone nodding or you get nowhere. It's brutal, but it's the new reality.
Totally. 8, 10 people in a buying group, sometimes more, and almost every one of them has done this before. They know the terrain. They're not looking to be wowed by features. They want confidence that you've solved the pain they have, preferably for someone just like them. The main thing? If you're not on that short list early, you don't even get a chance at bat.
Yeah, and it connects straight into a challenge so many founders bring up to us. But we have all these unique features. It just doesn't land anymore. Most buyers, according to recent studies, can't even tell the difference between B2B solutions. There's so much information out there, and these buying groups are overloaded, especially the folks who actually cut the checks, the CFOs or the heads of finance.
Exactly. When I'm mapping decision makers, I'm not just thinking, who loves our product the most? I'm thinking, who has to justify this spend to the board, or who risks their bonus if this flops? What matters to them? It's financial impact, operational risk, credibility, never just technical details. And jargon? Forget it. If I hear one more pitch about an AI-powered dashboard, my eyes glaze over. Show me the business outcome, or it's just noise.
Brian, you nailed it. The coolest feature in the world? It's just wallpaper if you can't link it directly to what matters for that particular buyer. And this is for the Israeli execs listening. Remember, the further up the ladder you get in these global buying groups, the less anyone cares about the technical wizardry. Outcomes, outcomes, outcomes. That's the whole game.
And look, if you still think you're going to nurture a lead for 12 months, think again. Buying cycles have squeezed down from about 11.3 months last year to just over 10. Meanwhile, buyers are actually checking out more vendors. But you probably won't even know you're being evaluated. Most research, most shortlisting, that's happening in the dark via LLMs and peer references, not your outbound emails. I mentored a CEO from Herzliya who learned this the hard way. He thought if he just blasted enough cold outbound, he'd break open the US market overnight. But radio silence. Responses only came once buyers were ready, once they'd done all their homework, decided on the shortlist, and then reached out themselves. If you're not planting seeds earlier, building brand, sharing real results, you won't even get a shot to pitch.
That's the point. By the time they call, it's basically confirm what we already think we know, or you're out. That early shortlist is set before you ever say hello. If you aren't being found and validated before your SDR even gets a reply, it's over.
That brings us right to AI. So many folks worry, is AI going to just replace the sales process? But what we're seeing in the data is different. 94% of buyers are using LLMs to summarize vendor info, compare offerings, maybe forecast costs. But they're coming to sellers even earlier to clarify stuff like, is this AI safe? What's the real price of these features? It's not removing the human interaction. It's making it happen earlier, but for different reasons.
Let me give you a real example. We had a client whose website boasted about AI capabilities all over the place. Sounded great in theory, but every serious prospect, especially in North America, insisted on live technical validation. They wanted demos with their data, conversations about how the model actually worked, privacy audits, you name it. Website claims weren't enough to get the deal over the line. People still need that human validation, especially with high-ticket B2B purchases.
Right, and let's be blunt. If your competitor's site sounds exactly like yours, buyers aren't going to risk the budget on marketing copy. They want to see real use cases, real value delivered, and they want to see it explained by a live person. That's why direct engagement hasn't gone away. It just shifted earlier.
And then we layer in economic pressure. Almost half of buyers say uncertainty is making them speed up the process, reach out earlier, sometimes just to lock in spend before budgets freeze. But it's a weird tension, isn't it? There's urgency, but buyers are also more cautious, way more price-focused than even a year ago.
Let me put it in chess terms because, guilty, still obsessed. In volatile markets, buyers castle for safety. They stick to proven vendors, avoid flashy gambits. Nobody wants to be the one who tried something wild and then the budget gets slashed. So they'll opt for known players, spend the money fast, but only with minimum risk.
And that risk aversion? It gives a monster advantage to vendors with documented track records, especially those who can show clear business results, not just promises. If they know you've done it before, for someone like them, you're at the top of the pile.
So let's talk about this shift. From here's our feature list to here's what you actually get. Modern buyers demand quantifiable business impacts. ROI, cost saved, efficiency, strategic moves, even future-proofing. If you can't map your solution to a business outcome, buyers and AI filters will ignore you. Brian, we've talked about Siemens' new approach, right?
Yes, Siemens is a case study in this. They built what they call the Tangible Outcomes Framework. The idea is don't talk about advanced simulation capabilities. Talk about 30% faster time to market or 98% correlation to real-world performance. It's about connecting every product function directly to hard business results. Since they switched, qualified leads went up, deal cycles went down. That's the blueprint. Outcome first, feature second.
And it's not just big enterprise. Israeli B2B can punch above its weight here too. If you articulate what you actually deliver for each type of buyer, you'll get picked up by both human buyers and LLMs filtering out the fluff. Everyone wants the so what.
Here's where it gets practical. Customer success stories. You can say your product shrinks time to value, but a real-world case, especially one with quantifiable metrics, does all the heavy lifting. The best B2B orgs, Stripe, Slack, Atlassian, they build pipelines off strategic, context-rich case studies, and it lets them command higher pricing too.
Absolutely. I remember one deal in Chicago, a skeptical US buyer. The tech team was concerned it was just another SaaS tool. But we showed them a case study with a similar company in their industry. Here, this customer shortened onboarding by 60%, hit break-even in 4 months, and scaled to 5 times users with zero downtime. Suddenly, all the theoretical risks had a human face and ROI data. That changed everything. Closed within 2 weeks after that.
And don't forget, the best case studies weave in perspectives from multiple stakeholders. Not just the execs, but technical users, finance, even compliance folks. It makes your proof bulletproof, and it accelerates deals, period.
So thinking about how Israeli companies can play in this new environment, you've got to enable buyers to self-educate with 24/7 access to value content. That means always-on content hubs, case studies, benchmarks, roadmaps, so prospects can do their homework before they ever hit contact sales.
Here's what we did with the scale-up last quarter. We built a content atomization process, breaking up every case study into video bites, dashboards, downloadable metrics, even organizing live reference calls. But crucially, the sales team only got signals to use these assets when buyer behavior, like viewing specific pages or downloading a certain guide, triggered intent. No more guessing when or what to send. You meet them where they are in the journey.
Right, and the old static persona model, forget it. With intent data and behavioral cues, you engage buyers dynamically. Deliver what they need, when they need it, and watch deal velocity go up.
Let's get into metrics. This is a hard pivot for a lot of teams, moving from tracking MQLs and raw leads to focusing on shortlist wins, deal velocity, and the actual use of enablement content. It's a big mindset shift, but it's where winners separate from the pack.
I'll be honest, used to obsess over pixel-perfect landing pages, right? But in reality, a quick customer video drove 4 times the conversions for one SaaS client versus months of campaign tweaks. Pipeline metrics didn't budge until we started tracking which deals engaged with our actual success stories. Now, the team cares about who's shortlisting us, not how many form fills we get.
Best-in-class teams are watching shortlist placement, engagement depth, reference program impact. If your enablement assets aren't being used by buyers on their own, even before outreach, it's a signal you're missing the mark.
Let's talk execution. For Israeli B2B leaders thinking, how do I shift my messaging tomorrow? Start by mapping business outcomes for every key buyer role. Explicitly quantify impact. Use metrics and legit examples, not fluffy claims.
Here's the play. Build a systematic customer story program. Offer incentives for clients to participate or feature them in thought leadership. You'll find customer success teams are often happy to co-create. And you need to refresh stories regularly. Old wins lose power fast. My method here is OFER. Outcome first, feature next, evidence, then rationale. So for every pitch, lead with the promised outcome, back it with features, bring proof, then explain why it works. Simple, but it closes deals.
And collaborate. Get input from sales, marketing, product, even engineering. Outcome messaging isn't just a slide. It has to become your operating system.
Now, this is where it goes from a campaign to a company-wide muscle. You have to train sales and marketing teams to speak customer outcomes in every interaction. Not just mention it, prioritize it, so your message actually resonates with buyers' top priorities.
And pull in cross-functional teams, customer success, product, marketing, to share what's working and what clients keep asking for. Those feedback loops mean you're always refining that outcome-first approach, not just for marketing, but for the whole company.
Continuous learning matters here. Regular sessions to showcase what stories work, which messages get traction, how customer value is being realized. Because the real learning happens after deals close, and keeping teams focused on outcome delivery keeps everyone aligned.
Let's not overlook the power of a real feedback loop. Your customer success team should be pumping new outcome data and lessons learned back into marketing and sales, so messaging stays current and relevant.
Spot on. And with advanced analytics and AI, you can now spot evolving buyer needs and pain points faster than ever. Pipe those insights straight into your CRM and iterate your sales plays. It's not about lagging indicators, but real-time adaptation, meeting buyers where their priorities are changing.
You can also coach sales teams using data-driven storytelling. Spot which customer wins land for technical leads versus CFOs, and scale those stories across the org. That's how you reinforce the behaviors that actually move revenue.
Right, and as these strategies catch, it's time to amplify. Make outcome-focused storytelling a company-wide skill, so every team member, not just sales or success, speaks the same language.
Centralize your latest case studies and outcome narratives in a shared repository. The goal? That anyone, from SDR to CEO, has the ammo they need for every buyer interaction, whether that's a data point, a video win, or a tailored reference call.
And leverage AI. Let the data guide you to new market needs or spot what content's resonating fastest. That's how future-proof B2B orgs tailor their outreach dynamically and stay a step ahead of the competition.
I'm seeing smart teams embed outcome metrics directly into sales workflows now. Think CRM tools that visualize actual KPI impact for each account. So during live talks, sales can point to real, tailored value. It brings outcomes to life instantaneously.
And don't stop at dashboards. Standardize proposal templates so every deal focuses on measurable results, mapped to specific buyer personas. Train the whole sales org on weaving quantitative win stories into every call and deck. Makes the value proposition unmissable for the whole committee.
It also gives your customer success team assets for QBRs and renewals. Here's what we promised, here's what you got. That transparency cements trust and opens the door for upsell.
For real transformation, leadership needs to drive this. Share success metrics. Tell internal value stories constantly. It's how you get a company to think, what impact are we having? Instead of just, how many features did we ship?
Absolutely. Ongoing training, storytelling sessions with fresh data, and even cross-departmental forums. Get everyone invested in outcome delivery, not just their slice of the business.
Because when everyone, engineering, CS, sales, anchors on delivered value, you spot bottlenecks faster, find new growth channels, and keep your offering sticky. That's what sets world-class teams apart.
Let's zoom in for a sec on post-sale. Quick wins matter. A lot. Successful onboarding that showcases value fast? That's the launch pad for retention, expansion, and all those advocacy case studies we keep talking about.
And regular outcome reviews with clients aren't just about patting yourself on the back. It's where upsell opportunities and product tweaks surface. That ongoing feedback loop makes sure you're still aligning with what the client actually wants, not what you assumed in the sales cycle.
And loop that data right back into messaging, product roadmap, and even your next pitch deck. You want to be able to show that your solution evolves with the client's vision, not that you're stuck selling 2023 features to 2025 buyers.
Leaders, your role isn't just crossing items off the to-do list. It's creating momentum around outcome metrics. Tell those stories up and down the organization. Make sure the why drives every decision, not just internal KPIs.
And for ongoing success, you need regular scheduled programs for sharing outcome stories inside the org. Keep building cross-functional bridges and make sure best practices aren't locked in silos. Mentoring, workshops, open feedback loops, that's where the magic happens.
When you nail this, outcomes are woven into hiring, training, client delivery, even compensation. It's a full system upgrade. And the ROI keeps compounding as outcome-first thinking becomes just how you operate.
If you want outcome focus to stick, it's got to be lived across functions. That means regular workshops. Get sales, marketing, customer success in the same room, same dashboard, sharing success stories and what's not working.
You also want some friendly competition. Recognize teams that clearly articulate outcomes and create real customer impact. That's how you hardwire this mindset, by showing it's valued, not just encouraged.
Dashboards, internal storytelling, all fuel to keep outcome wins top of mind. People get inspired by seeing their work lead to real, quantifiable client success. It creates a virtuous loop of motivation and improvement.
For the innovators out there, dig into outcome data from existing clients to spot unmet needs, trends, and new growth opportunities. That's how you build a pipeline of client-led innovation, not just guesswork.
Let your customer success team feed product and messaging directly with real-world outcome stories. Use those insights to co-create pilots or new features with lead clients. That's how outcome-driven partnerships get forged.
And it's not just about product magic. Strategic partnerships, co-developing new solutions with clients and industry allies, let you address bigger outcome promises the market actually wants. That's how you future-proof your value proposition.
Once momentum builds, you need scale. That means robust training on outcome storytelling for all customer-facing teams and a single source of truth for updated case studies. No more siloed decks or expired PDFs floating around.
Let AI do the heavy lifting with analyzing who's engaging, triggering the right content at the right stage, and feeding insights back to the field. That's your growth flywheel, optimized in real time for outcome impact.
And refresh those narratives frequently. The market moves fast, but so do your reference stories. The more current and targeted, the greater your win rates. Period.
To land this plane, building an outcome-driven sales culture is a leadership job. You want regular workshops, celebrate success stories, and truly recognize outcome-centric behavior at every level. Marketing, sales, customer success, you name it.
Comprehensive training is key. Equip everyone, whether they're in the first outreach or running QBRs, with tools to tell data-driven stories that resonate with every buyer role, from user to CFO.
And create the routines, cross-team gatherings to review insights, share best practices, and align on a unified outcome-centric message. When you do that, you embed a culture that adapts, scales, and wins long-term. That's closing the trust gap for good.
Thanks for listening, everyone. That's a wrap for this episode. Brian, Benny, always a blast connecting and learning from you both. Same time next week?
Absolutely, Brenda. Looking forward to it. And thanks, Benny. Great stuff as always.
Cheers, Brenda, Brian. If anyone listening has a story or question, send it in. Until next time, bye everyone.